Glazers has stand to sell Manchester United. Looks like they're trying to turn heel on the sale of Manchester United. That is the full sale, not a partial sale. For full sale, they're really looking like they're hesitant. They're really projecting to see whether they can stay at Manchester United, get in more investment, and obviously sell it off. But there are lots of divisions into their family, and the contours are really showing that maybe it will come to pass as we've always wanted it to be. Then Eriksen recovery update. The manager Erik ten Hag has gone ahead to really highlight us on how much he expects Eriksen to return and how he's really adjusting to treatment, as far as the physios of Manchester United are really trying to take care of Eriksen. Then there is a Sabitzer story. Eriksen, the manager Ten Hag coming in through and really hinting about the other aspect of Sabitzer at Manchester United and how important it's going to be for the club of Manchester United in the coming 5 months that are really so much packed with very many games. And lastly, we're going to talk about the return of Sancho on social media. After close to 3-4 months, Sancho has gone ahead to post something on his social media. Remember, he went AWOL on social media in October and he really took out all his posts there because I think he felt like the love was not being spread to him. But he's finally back, and obviously happy to see to it that everyone has really gone ahead to spread the love and showed him love that he has always been missing. Rock and David is my name. Smash the like button, comment and share. Match day today later. How many hours from now? I think 4 hours from now, we are going to be watching the game of Manchester United and Crystal Palace. So it's going to be at Old Trafford. Is Sabitzer making his debut? That's the most important thing that most of us are really waiting to see, whether Ten Hag is going to make that bold decision, as he has always made it on very many others. Weghorst, Lisandro Martinez, Anthony, Eriksen, and very many others, on really starting them in the game of Manchester United versus Crystal Palace. So smash the like button, comment and share. Let's start off with the Glazers because it really looks great for you guys to really know what is happening in the camp of Manchester United. As far as the sale is concerned, I have some questions that really coming through. I think it was Vice Guerra throwing them a lot about the Glazers, but obviously we are back here to let you know what it's all about. Now, Joel and Avram Glazer are said to be keen to retain control of the club if they can, while other family members think it's a good time to sell. A total sale remains the most likely outcome, but this will depend on offers received. That's what we're getting in from Rob Dawson. Remember, he's a correspondent for Manchester United at the ESPN. Now, he continues to let us know that the Glazer family is still hesitant between a complete sale and accepting a minority stake. Some members believe the club's value could skyrocket if Erik ten Hag brings lasting success on the pitch. Now, you know, there are always two situations. Minimum, they can even be 3 or 4. But in a situation like this, it boils into two. There are those that want to sell. There are those that don't want to sell. And the two that don't want to sell are Avram Glazer and Joel Glazer, especially. Those are so close to the club. The others are family members who just go ahead and really receive dividends. They don't even know what happens at Old Trafford because for them, it's all about them getting their dividends. Now, as things stand, the Glazers have started to anticipate how far United is going to be, because if they've been getting in money close to, let's say, a year, like 30 million pounds a year, when United has not been performing as it's performing right now, how is it going to be when United is performing at this level, when Ten Hag is? It really shows you that they can even double. They can be making close to 100 million pounds per a year. So they might look at this as another way to continue with the club, but those are the only two, and they don't have the money to really buy the shares of the other family members. So they are really looking at also getting in an investor, but the other family members are telling them, let's sell the club. This is the only opportunity we've got to get close to 6, 7, 8 billion from the club. Then we share that money, pay off the debt. That is like 500 million pounds. That means we'll be left with, like, if at all it's sold at 6 billion, they'll be left with 5.5 billion pounds. So the family members will share it amongst themselves, and they might find themselves each getting close to £1 billion. And obviously, where do you get that business? So, however much the Glazers, the Avram and Joel Glazer are really trying to convince the family members, but the other family members are not considering this because they know they now have a chance to add £1 billion on their wealth each. I think they're like 5. Aren't they 5? So if they're having a $5 billion, the 500 million that is really going to remain will go into those other expenditures like Rain Group, the people involved, the intermediaries, so on and so forth, obviously selling off the club. So I believe they put out this story maybe because Rob Dawson, a correspondent of United for ESPN, is the one that has really broken this story. I think they are just trying to send a message of threat to the people that are planning to bring in bids, that if we don't get in the bids we want, we are willing to get in investors to retain this club. Yet, people coming in through really want to take the club. So I think they just want to create a bidding war, and that's what they want. Bids are really starting to come in through, I think, by the start of next week, but one. That around 15th. That's after next week. Bids are going to be starting coming in through, and we'll be knowing who has bidded what, who has bidded what. It will be outside there into public archive for us to know, and I'll be here letting you know that the bids have gone in through. But I believe they are going to sell the team. They have nothing to do because a lot is needed. Because even if they get in money, they have no guarantee that everything is going to be on like that. And secondly, the Super League. The Court of Arbitration for Sports had ruled that the Super League shouldn't exist. On Thursday, in Real Madrid, another court gave them a chance to operate, that FIFA and UEFA shouldn't interfere the work of the Super League. So it shows you that that might also be another reason for them to stay here, because they might be having a plan of getting back to the Super League, and they get in close to £3 billion per year. They get that amount of money. They don't leave this club because they know that we can now reinvest. We are having Ten Hag. We can now reinvest like £2 billion and obviously get United back to where it's supposed to be by building a new stadium or refurbishing Manchester United or refurbishing Old Trafford and so on and so forth. So as things stand, the Glazers are really thinking of not leaving the club, but I believe everything written, they're really leaving the club of Manchester United. Let's go to Ten Hag and what I said about Sabitzer ahead of this game of football that we are playing today against Crystal Palace. Ten Hag has said the following on Sabitzer, that he's a determined player with a very good attitude. He has also a captain. He was also a captain at many clubs, so he's a leader. He's a very good player, and I think he's a perfect recruit. We are very happy. So, determined with a very good attitude. You know, attitude is really important, and Ten Hag fronts this fast and discipline. Garnacho felt a victim of not playing any game in the preseason tour because of his attitude. When his attitude got right, the managers now bring him on to play games. Even the game of Nottingham Forest plays close to 60 minutes. You saw him. And very many other players. Ronaldo, discipline and attitude forced Ten Hag to really kick him out of Manchester United, and obviously that came to a common ground, and now the club is really stable. So he has gone ahead to knock down every ego. So he welcomes in a player who knows what having good attitude is all about, leadership is all about. He has been a captain of very many clubs, that is Sabitzer, and he knows what it means to be in the field of play. He's obsessed with winning as Erik Ten Hag. That's why yesterday I brought you a story. Sabitzer confirmed with us that he has always longed to play for Erik Ten Hag. It shows you how this lad knows Ten Hag, and the two people who believe in the same style of play, same attitude, same objectives, they are really together to contribute to the success of Manchester United. And Ten Hag has gone ahead to let us know that he's a very good player, and I think he's a perfect recruit. So, calling for perfect recruit at the level where we are right now, when Ten Hag is mentioning it, after saying that it's hard to replace Eriksen and Casemiro, if he calls him a perfect recruit, it's like telling you that I'm having another player who can put in Eriksen performances and even exceed. Because when you look at the stats of this man, I think he's really going to thrive, and Eriksen's return will be another boost for Manchester United, as we are going to see what the manager is going to tell us in the next tweet that we are going in through and read and really diagonal. So Sabitzer, perfect Ten Hag recruit. So it's really boiling. I believe the fans aren't ready for him, especially those that have not been watching the Bundesliga, where he was really playing. When he came into Old Trafford, there were no fans. It was still COVID. So few people have seen him play, but we who have seen him play know what exactly he's coming in with, and that's why Ten Hag is calling him a perfect recruit, because this guy is a steady Eddie. That's what I tell you. He's a steady Eddie, and I think him and Casemiro are going to epitomize that midfield of Manchester United to the next level. He runs and he literally steps on every blade of grass on the field of play. So he's just a gift to us. Now let's talk about Eriksen, a man that is injured until the start of May. Ten Hag has told us that I think it's not possible to have two Casemiros or two Eriksens. That's it. People have always called in for quality, but that doesn't mean that you should be having quality of the same level. Even City, you can't tell me that Calvin Phillips is at the same level as Rodri, but you know Calvin Phillips can come in and get the job done. So Bernardo Silva is not the same level as Phil Foden, but if at all Bernardo is benched and Foden comes in through, Foden does the job. Julian Alves, not the same level as Haaland, but you know when Julian comes in through, when Haaland is away, he can get the job done. So that's what Ten Hag is talking about, that you can't be having two Eriksens and two Casemiros, because you'll cause contradictions, you'll cause war, because all these players will be knowing I'm good enough, I'm one of the world's best. Why are you not playing me? So let me give you an example. Real Madrid once had Figo, Ronaldo, Zidane, Raúl, Emerson, Makelele. They had the cream de la cream of all the football stars in the world. And even the bench had stars there. But did they win the Champions League? They didn't. They did. But look at this team that is winning Champions Leagues. That of Ronaldo, Toni Kroos, Modric, Casemiro. You get? You don't need to be having players at the same wavelength to compete. You just need to be having one extreme player, then the other who has the talent to come in and really back up this one. That's it. So that's what Ten Hag is talking about, that you can't be having two Casemiros and two Eriksens, because these are two quality players who have gone ahead to prove it for a very long period of time, that they can play an average of 46 games per season. So if at all you're having both, if at all you're having Casemiro and another player with the quality of Casemiro on the bench, how are you going to balance it up? That will cause trouble in the dressing room, and it will turn into toxic, something that Ten Hag doesn't want. So I believe I second him in all what he's saying about these two players. Then he said about Eriksen that he's now focused on his recovery and we want him back as soon as possible. I think he still has a role to play this season. So hopefully he will restore for it. Now, does Eriksen have a role to play for Manchester United this season? 100%. When he comes in through and Sabitzer is there with Bruno Fernandes, it gives you lots of options in the midfield. You can decide to play Eriksen as a cam and play Bruno wide, or put Sabitzer in the double pivot. You can also play Eriksen in a double pivot with Casemiro, then bring Sabitzer up front. So I believe his return is going to be so much important for the club of Manchester United, and we are all eagerly waiting for him to return, and we are wishing him a very quick recovery. But Ten Hag has showed you the importance of Eriksen in the team of Manchester United, because the guy has close to 11 assists this season. Am I mistaken? Let me check Eriksen here, because the guy is really a beast when it comes to creating. He's majestic when it comes to that. When you look at his stats this season, let me see here. In the Premier League, he has 7 assists. In the UEFA Europa League, he has 2 assists. I think he has some other 2 assists. That's it, if at all I'm not mistaken. But he is really on fire, and he's a player you wouldn't like to lose. But I think it's a blessing in disguise for Erik ten Hag, because if Eriksen never got injured, Sabitzer wouldn't have been here. But he went to the board and told them, the player is injured, Scott McTominay is injured, I'm left with 3 midfielders, Fred, Casemiro, and Bruno. Look at the number of games you're having. Then they said, all right, let's get you some cash and get a player on loan. Now, after that, Sancho, having gone AWOL on social media for close to 3-4 months, yesterday he resurrected back to life, and he took onto his Instagram, and that is an Instagram story he put there for you. You see it very well. Then he went ahead and really made his first post on his Instagram. It read as, wow, just want to say a massive thank you to everyone for the support I've received over the past few weeks, especially to the fans. My focus is to give my all to my team and the club. I'm so happy to be back out on the pitch. See you soon. You see, Eriksen was the first to really put up a sign of love. Tammy Abraham, boy is back. Leroy Sen, also happy with him. Then see what other footballers came in through and really reacted onto his Instagram post, because it's really hard to return from the situation where he has been, but Ten Hag managed it very well, and finally we have our boy back. Leroy Sen, Tammy Abraham, Diogo Dalot, Rashford said, my brother. Erling Haaland, remember they played together at Borussia Dortmund, sign of love and prayer. Then Christian Eriksen, sign of love. Jude Bellingham, too. He left him at Borussia Dortmund, came to Manchester United, showed him the sign of love. Henderson threw in a heart. Anton Martial said, my G, with a heart. Lisandro Martinez in there for you. And Vinicius Jr. also clapped hands and really posted a heart. So it shows you that Sancho has really received massive love on his return, and I believe that today he might really be one of the most impactful players that are going to be on the field of play of Manchester United. So guys, thank you very much for watching in through. Your reactions to the Glazers hesitant to sell Manchester United. Do you think they'll sell? They'll go for a full sell or a partial sell? Then Eriksen recovery update given to us by Erik ten Hag. Ten Hag also hailing Sabitzer as a leader, as a perfect signing for Manchester United, or a perfect fit for the club. Lastly, Sancho's return. Your thoughts about it? Rokan David is my name. Smash the like button, comment and share. Don't forget to subscribe. As sign out for now, see you later. May the Almighty Lord bless you abundantly, guys. I think I'm returning with the match day live. Not so? That's what I'm returning with, as we really bring you the confirmed team news of Manchester United as they take on a side called Crystal Palace at Old Trafford.